That's the date. That's the date. That's not the date. It's 2nd of November. Anyway, the lighting's crap in here. This is my rooms, and we'll have a little look at whereabouts I live. Let's have a look, see what I have. Where? Well, I got a few bits of stuff-a-loodle that I got from my house. If you recognise that little fella. See what date it is. What date is it? I can't see. Anyway, it's Saturday anyway. Just gone 8 o'clock AM. This is my room. This is where I live. That's where I sleep. But I'm not there anymore. Who knows where I am now? And there's my other baby.
Welcome to your doom. Shut it and get over here. Massive uppercut!
Hello, welcome to another edition of the JabJab Show. Today I'm here, sat over here, I'm going to talk about the Gamecube. What you just saw then, before the introduction, was the 2002 footage of me, showing bits past my room where I used to live. I was in Plymouth, doing a college course, and, I bought one of these, at the time. So, 2002, this came out in the UK. 2001 for the USA and Japan, but over here, we got this. So I like to celebrate 15 years of having this actual console that you see before you. That's what I bought. The previous generation to the Gamecube, my console of choice was the N64. I mean, I bloody love that console. Some great games on there. I did have a PlayStation, PS1, and I'm not sure. I don't think I had a PS2 at the time, but by the time I got this, I should say. But I thought, I'm going to get this because I love the Super Nintendo, I love the N64, like I say. And I kind of lost my way a little bit, lost my face a little bit with Sega. I might go into that in another video. But, I got this. Let's say it's an aggressive price point when it came out, 130 quid or something. Who's going to do that nowadays? Bring out a new console at that price. But, like I say, this came out and I thought, I'm going to have to get one of these because of the Nintendo and stuff. My allegiance has gone towards Nintendo. Now, I knew people who had a PS2, I knew people who had the Xbox One. I knew also the gaming landscape was changing a little bit, considering, what was achievable now on the graphical front and all the rest of it. The technical side of things, it allowed a lot more first-person shooters, a lot more realistic, driving games and things like that, and this console, Nintendo stuff, was kind of again going away from that, that kind of thing. I mean, you can get more mature games on there, like Resident Evil remake, Resident Evil 4, I think, and a few other games like Eternal Darkness. The things were a bit more mature, but I saw at the time, a little bit of a shift one way, which Sony and Microsoft were going down, and like Nintendo kind of doing their own, starting to do their own thing a little bit. Still, what Nintendo have done over the years, as you probably know, is the main selling point for Nintendo console is the first party, games like Mario, Zelda, and so forth. I just felt get one of these. Also, I knew it would the third party developer side of things, which for me started with the N64, was starting to part away. For two other companies, you got to see that the N64, was the last Nintendo console with a cartridge system, and you got developers like Square who jumped from Nintendo to Sony because they wanted bigger, more expansive, more memory to play with and so forth, and the cartridge format just didn't have the capabilities, didn't have the storage space, so they went to obviously went to Sony, as you probably know, with the Final Fantasy 7s, 8 and 9s and so forth. So we had all these companies, third-party developers, like, you know, beginning to like move away from Nintendo. So this is the first Nintendo console that doesn't use cartridges. It uses its own little like disc-based thing going on. And it's also the first Nintendo console that didn't have a Mario game for a launch title. I'll go into that a little bit later. No, but you know. But I still like it a lot. You know, I don't have tons of games for it. I mean, I go into the games and, you know, after this a little bit. And yeah, so there we go. I saw it as a good console and whatever. I'm gonna bring out the games I've got. I've not got many games. So one of the launch games, you know, for it wasn't Mario. It's Luigi's Mansion. Now this was a really good game. I got this. I'm guessing on the first when I bought the console. You didn't get any games packed with it. No, but I got this game. It's very good. Was it 2000? Yeah, 2001, 2002. So yeah, launch game. It's not a very long game, but you got used to the controls. The controller was kind of more finessed, like N64. I mean, the thing with the N64 controller. I mean, personally, you know, looked at it the first time when I looked at it the first time. I thought, oh, how do you use this thing? With 3 prongs and, you know, it's been, you know, like initially a bit unwieldy. You're thinking, because it's a lot, you know, it looks a lot different from what's come before. But, you know, always play Mario 64, for me personally, it's like, you know, it's so natural. It's so, you fall in love with it, you know, for me personally anyway. The controller with the GameCube and the GameCube itself, I found it overall like more of an evolution as opposed to a revolution, you know, as in like just things like that, you know, from Super Nintendo for the N64, it was, yeah, it's basically 2D to 3D, you know, in a lot of ways, you know, and also the controller and the analog control, you know, controls and all the rest of it, getting used to that, and you know, and the use of polygons, just things like that. I mean, I know the Super Nintendo had the Super FX chip and, you know, Star Fox and Stunt Race FX and things like that, but you know, the N64 really shoved the kind of thing, the capabilities, like really ramped it up. For me, the GameCube, like the little controller, just like there's just fine-tuned things. You know, obviously you know, like technically, you know, it's a more powerful system, but you know, in terms of everything like the controller and so forth, like I say, it's just finesse things. More of it just an evolution, as I say. So, you know, you got Luigi's Mansion, which is good. It highlights, you know, the graphical prowess, and you know, you get used to the things, and it's all good. No, it's not a short game. It's a pretty short game, relatively. I mean, I didn't mind that. You know, I don't like, you know, the kind of games I prefer. I've got Mario 64, Mario Sunshine there. Now, I do like Mario Sunshine. Mario 64 is my favourite Mario game. I did get used to the whole flood system, where you got like a backpack which have, I think, 2 or 3 functions on it, like, you know, types of water it sprays out and so forth. I do like also the decision, whatever, you know, to have all the levels kind of like an island, like a holiday resort kind of thing, as opposed to what Mario 64 does, you know. Don't get me wrong, like I say, Mario 64 is one of my favourite games. I love it to bits. It does trade on a lot of like kind of platformy, kind of somewhat cliches almost, where it has like a snow level, like a fire level, you know, all these kind of like archetypal levels and so on. And, you know, obviously really, in my eyes, real expertly done. Really, it's a masterclass in game design and so on. But, you know, I like how they, in this game, like I say, you know, they did the, sorry, I've got a bit of sniffles, and you know, they chose to do like resorty kind of like levels and so on. I did complete it, but I didn't complete it with all the like stars like I did in Mario 64. There was somewhat, it just felt a little bit too kind of finicky, if that's a word, I don't know. But you know, to try and get it's just too awkward to get. You know, the way they utilise, I didn't really like how they utilise Yoshi in this game, you know, where he's like, I think you cracked open an egg, or you did something with an egg and Yoshi came out, and he's only available for about 15 seconds or something, and he's very skittery when you control him, and there's one star or something you had to get on there's a boat that was moving constantly, and you had to time it so you can open the egg to get Yoshi, jump on Yoshi, get on this boat and stay in this boat that's going chugging along, and this boat gets to an island where there's a star, something like that, and because Yoshi, it's all like, all this, because it just got a bit too awkward and so on. I couldn't do it. I spent ages trying to do it, and I thought, it's not fun anymore trying to get this start. It's just because of the way Yoshi moves and the boat's going really slow. Just things. It just wasn't that fun to do. Some of the stars on this, so I'd say I completed it and so forth. But I didn't find it as good as Mario 64. But obviously a good game nonetheless. I got Zelda The Wind Waker. Now this came out in 2003, was it? 2003 in the UK. Now I knew this at the time, reading the magazines. This got a lot of criticism for the graphical style, because back in the day, this whole cell shading thing was a thing. It was a big thing. A lot of games, a lot of art designs in magazines and so forth, where things will look like very cartoony and stuff. And people, in the media were expecting, in the gaming media, were expecting Majora's Mask, esque graphics, but obviously better because it's on the GameCube and so on. And obviously they went down the other route of cell shaded, and I love it. I love this game. It's great. I mean, I personally don't think it's as good as Ocarina of Time, again, but it's very good. I love it. Very expression. The expressions on the people's faces, it's more kind of alive kind of thing, and I love the sound design as well of it. It's all got the classic Zelda kind of all the kind of little tunes and whatever, and yeah, it's very good. I didn't complete it, and I didn't have any sticking points like I did with Ocarina of Time. There's a couple of things with Ocarina of Time I did cheat, don't tell the police, but I had to, and if I didn't know the things I had to do, there's two things on the Ocarina of Time that I cheated on, and if I didn't, I would not have found out how to do them things. It's one of them was, I think, the Lens of Truth. Quite near the end of the game, you got a thing called the Lens of Truth, and you had to do a really odd thing, a turn of events and so on. And I would never have been able to do that if I didn't look on the. I don't know if the internet was. I didn't have the internet back then. Back Ocarina of Time. Obviously, I did with Wind Waker, but it's a very good game. I like it, and I think because of the graphical style, it doesn't date as much as, say, if you're trying to go for, this era of gaming. If you didn't go for kind of realism, which, you look back and thought, you can see that the imperfections and so forth, and so many games back then, it went for realism and so on, especially with lighting effects, smoking effects, things like that. But, this obviously has its own stylized way of doing things, and I think it just stands the test of time a little bit more graphically, in my opinion anyway. Now, this is weird because Sonic on a Nintendo console. Yes, what happened with it is obviously the Dreamcast didn't really do as well as it should do, to be honest. And what did benefit it was the original Xbox and Nintendo Gamecube of all things, was where let's say you started farming out their stuff to let's say the GameCube and the original Xbox. So Sonic Adventure 2, pretty much, with extra bits on it. It's a lot cheaper than the Dreamcast version because it's hilariously expensive than the Dreamcast, this game. So I picked this up a little while ago. I've got Sonic Adventure 1 on the Dreamcast. I've got Sonic Adventure 2 on the GameCube, which is weird, but it's a good game and so on. I do like Sonic Adventures. I know they've had Sonic Mania come out recently, and Sega, with their with the partners, if they will, seeing sense and saying, well, yeah, the 16-bit stuff is probably the best things we've done in terms of Sonic. This is my opinion as well as maybe theirs, but if not the best graphically, it's the best game design wise and playability, and just because of nostalgia value as well. So they're going back to the kind of all the Mega Drive style kind of ways of doing things. But in terms of the 3D stuff, Dreamcast onward, yeah, Sonic Adventure is probably my favourite kind of 3D, if you will, kind of games. Obviously, yeah, FIFA. Don't know. I play FIFA on various systems. What I did do the GameCube have a lot of really good Star Wars games. I've not got many. I'd say I've not got many GameCube games. I've got that's a Star Wars game. That's very good. This is Boba Fett beating everyone up. What else have we got? I've got another Star Wars game. I have got Rogue Leader somewhere, but I don't know where it is. I have got Rogue Leader, and that's one of the launch games that kind of sold the GameCube to me. This is Rebel Strike. This is Rogue Squadron 3. Now, I've made a video on Rogue Squadron for the N64. I love the games. I love them. They're great. So Rogue Squadron. I've got Rogue Leader, like I say, upstairs somewhere. I don't know where. That's Rogue Squadron 3. What this introduced was walking levels, which they're not great. They're not well utilised. Not the best utilisation of walking levels and so on. You know, if you read the behind the scenes of what Factor 5 and LucasArts and so on, like they try to put these in. They kind of admit that the walking levels on Rebel Strike aren't as great as say the flying levels, because for me the flying in the ships, like beating people up and so on, that's the meat and potatoes of the game. That's what's really good about it. So obviously the GameCube also brought back Metroid, Metroid Prime A. I think the Metroid Prime 2 is also on the Echoes, is it, on the GameCube, which is really good. What is a lot of fun, I think, is Simpsons Road Rage, which is pretty much Crazy Taxi with the Simpsons license. This is multi-platform. This is also Dreamcast, I think, and various other things. Also, Rocky. I've got Rocky, and I've recently picked up Rocky Legends on the Xbox, but I played this first. One of my mates got this first. It's just really satisfying. I love boxing games, especially when it comes down to licensed stuff like Rocky, where there's really if you like Rocky films, all the fights have been really kind of all these really impactful punches and so forth. And it's it's really good. You start as Rocky, you're fighting Spider Rico at the start, and you fight in the spitting sword as kind of gyms, and you end up in a big stadium things, and then ends up in you fight a street fight with Tommy Gunn, the end of Rocky 5, because this come out when there wasn't Rocky Balboa or Creed, obviously, the film. So it's really good, and yeah, that's my collection. Mine is Rogue Leader, which I don't know where it is. It should be among these, but it isn't. It'll be somewhere. So I would say, as I said before, this console was more of an evolution rather than revolution. Now it's probably I do want to get a Nintendo Switch. It's probably the last Nintendo console I really want to get. I got the Wii. I'm not a fan really of motion controls, and I got a bit annoyed with playing Mario and the Zelda games on there. I just got a bit annoyed with playing them. It's not as intuitive for me, anyway. Personally, they weren't as intuitive. Just give me a controller. I don't want to be waving my hands around for hours, playing these games. I can get the motion control on, say, the Wii Sports, Wii Fit, even though they don't appeal to me whatsoever. I can understand 5-minute fun games where you got them, shaking stuff and you kind of doing all this and that. I get that, but for games that require hours of gameplay, I don't want to be doing this for hours. I get sick of doing that. So anyway, that's the way. That might be a separate video, but yeah. So there are there are other games available. I will start to collect for this again at some point. I don't think the games are that expensive. The Mario Parties I think are, and maybe the Smash Brothers quite expensive. There's other things, Pokemon perhaps, a bit pricey and so on. But no, I'm quite pleased with the GameCube and my experiences with. So my question to you is, What are your views? What are your memories of the Nintendo GameCube? What are your favourite games, and all the rest of it? And let's say I don't have many games. Would you recommend some to me? I like the Star Wars flying games, fighting games, racing, platformers, that kind of thing. So yeah, any memories of the GameCube down there in the comment section down there. Also, I have these things up here, Facebook, Twitter, and modern stuff like that. Trying to keep up with the modern world. I don't know. So let me know what you think. Any memories of GameCube, just let me know down below. And if you like this kind of thing, like, subscribe, and comment. Tell your friends and everything. And in the words of the new Cyrus, send the word.